What did you love as a kid? What activities or objects did you most enjoy? For me, it was books and reading. One of my proudest accomplishments at school when I was a kid was winning first prize in a spring book competition. The three grades, I think it was grades 4, 5, and 6, we were to create a book about spring, and what we put into it was entirely up to us. I plunged into the project. I was cutting pictures out of National Geographic magazines of different animals and birds, and I created a spring-themed crossword for the book. I was writing poems and riddles about spring and so on. I loved the whole process. And I think I was about age 11 or 12 at the time. And I tried to find the actual spring book. I do have it in storage somewhere. I wasn't able to find it in time for tonight's meeting, but I did find my prize because I actually won first prize, and it was this book, Wildlife. I don't know if you can see it, Wildlife of the Mountains, and there's even a little note inside. See, to Danny Kostka, congratulations on an excellent Spring Book 1985 entry. And I can't tell you how proud I was to have won this. In my early 20s, fast forward a bit, uh, one time I did find this. I created a little funny book for a friend, and I like this little note. I say, only the events have been altered for dramatic effect. All the names are real, right? So it was a very silly book. And fast forward a little bit more, I'm 29 or 30. I'm in the first year of law school, and I create a directory of students so that we could, this was just before Facebook was catching on outside of the original schools that it started in, like Harvard. And I created a directory of students where they could share a little bit about their hobbies and what their undergrad studies were, and what their legal interests were. And then I sold it for $2 a copy, which was the production cost. And almost everyone, like 98% of students participated in this and allowed me to do this publication. And then fast forward to June of last year, I left the law firm where I was working and started a communications business. And the idea was to write for lawyers and small businesses and nonprofits, and eventually to publish books someday. Maybe that would be an aspect of this communications business. But what I soon decided was that the first book I'd publish would be my own, and it would be about my experiences a year and a half ago helping refugees at the Ukrainian border. And so over the past year, I spent many hours, I estimate 300 to 400 hours, writing and editing this book, and it came out last month. And I'm going to back up just slightly. In my early 20s, I studied journalism at Mount Royal College, and which is now Mount Royal University, of course. And I published a magazine, came out every 2 months, and has lots of articles in there. And so there's a theme here, isn't there? Like, so every few years of my life, I create a publication, I create a book or something like that. But I'd always put it off, as Vesna mentioned in her introduction, because I didn't feel it was practical, or I didn't feel I'd written something important enough. And then finally, last month, that this book, I published it, and I can't tell you how much anticipation I had to finally have it in my hands, because that was the vision. When over the last year when I was working on the book, whenever my motivation went down a little bit, I just imagined what it would feel like to hold the physical book, because there's something about creating a physical book which again brings me back to that feeling I had when I was a child. I'm now working on several more projects, meaning books, one of which is a memoir I'm co-writing with somebody. And again, I have that vision of one day holding it physically in my hand, and that's what motivates me. So there's a bit sense of what drives me and something I've always come back to in my life. I don't know if I'll be able to make a living doing this going forward, but it satisfies me. And so I'm going to keep making it a part of my life. And I hope in the future that it will be something I can do full time. And so I think the lesson I would offer to anyone else is that if you're looking for the passion in your life or something that really motivates you, that taps into that energy and enthusiasm, then look back to your childhood and think about what activities or what objects or what types of people did I most enjoy as a child? Because your passion, you might find, is staring at you in your face. It's right there in front of you. Thank you.